Good evening, friends, and welcome to another session of Swar-Akshar on this gorgeous 22nd of March 2026. Uh, it has been a great journey for Neeta and I hosting Swar-Akshar for last 6 years. And we have more than 50 recordings on our YouTube channel. And today is another exceptional day where generally we host Nita and I, Shailish, from our home in Mississauga, Canada. Today, Nita is in Mississauga. I'm at our best friends' place, our best friends, Jay Shri and Nita. Jay Shri and Anand, they have gratefully gave their place for me to hold from Mumbai. And today in our Swarakshire meeting, we are celebrating our Pandit Yug poet Kavi Kant. For that, we have invited Jay Kholia, Amrit Gangar, and Mukul Bhai Pandya. I'll repeat. For that, we have invited Jay Kholia, Amrit Bhai Gangar, and Mukul Bhai Pandya. A promising young filmmaker, Jay is based in Surat. His short films have been drawing a lot of attention in national as well as international audiences at various film festivals. In 2025, Jay created very distinct full-length film on Kavi Kant. His in-depth research and a very specific form of this film is very well received by varied audiences in India as well as the US. The film is produced by Purwala Foundation. Filmmaker Jay is influenced by film scholar, writer, editor, curator, and theorist Amrit Gangar's cinema of Prayog theory. Amrit Bhai's theory is well recognized and respected in the film world. Amrit Gangar writes and edits in English as well as Gujarati. He has been teaching design and art history at renowned institutions. Amrit Bhai has been awarded by Gujarati Sahitya Academy as well as Narmad Sahitya Sabha. Today we at Swarakshire are very happy to have Amrit Bhai with us. He will briefly introduce Jay Kholia and his film. Today we also have Mukul Bhai Pandya with us in our Swarakshar meet. He is the great-grandson of Kavi Kant and president of Purwala Foundation. He is a businessman as well as investigative journalist. He is also an acclaimed editor. However, today on our Swarakshar platform, he is going to say a few words about this film and its connection with Purwala Foundation. Swarakshar welcomes all three guests here, and I'll request Amrit Gangar to introduce Jay and his work. Amrit Bhai.
Thank you, Sailesh Bhai and Nita Ben. I need not introduce Jay because you have already introduced him. But what I will do in the next 10 minutes is speaking about the form. Because as I understand, Swar-Akshar is the first one to discuss this film, Kavi Kant film, made by Jay Kholia, in terms of the form, and not just content or Kavi Kant himself. What I am thinking now is creating a temporal arc over 130 years. What 1895, Lumiere brothers, first just camera and projector, it was 3-in-1 actually in the printer, was made is this box. This was called cinematograph. Now, the cinematograph was the 3-in-1 camera on which world's first films were shot. Now that made the Edison's, Thomas Alva Edison's similar gadget obsolete. One writer and artist saw this box and was shocked. He wrote that he was shocked because of his size. This box was so tiny, 6 inch by 6 inch by 4 inch. So this was the box, and he was shocked to see this small box on which first moving images were recorded. Arrival of the train, workers coming out of the factory. And he also wrote that he was shocked also, like first when he saw the portrait or painting of Mona Lisa. Mona Lisa painting itself is a very small one, about 17 inches. And it was not painted on canvas, it is on wooden board. So this is how he made a comparison between the two. So what I'm thinking now is what happened after 130 years. In 2026, 2025, Jay Kholia makes a film on this gadget, as small as that. It's about 6 inch by 4 inch, in fact, a little smaller. Now, in this film, in this mobile phone, he made the film 85 minutes long. It's feature-length film he made just on the mobile phone, along with Hiren Chaudhary, another student of mine, who handled the, let us call it camera, mobile phone. And they made this film. In fact, Jai had made earlier film, that was 1 minute film in one of my workshops in Surat, which was made on a non-Android, even smaller gadget, smaller mobile phone, and which was called Avruksh. I think very fantastic film. We made 60 seconds, which was also shown across the world, different festivals. This film, I told Jay that we need not genreify it. Genre, to my mind, is not cinematographic word term. It is departmental store slotting. So once you have the genre, you narrow it down. You shrink the expanse of the film itself. An Indian mind is something which is not attuned to this kind of slotting. We have the thali mentality, thali mind. In thali we have everything, and it's not the desert which comes in the end. We might start with the desert, sweet, and that's how I remember Jean-Luc Godard. Jean-Luc Godard said, "Well, I can tell a story, putting end in the beginning somewhere in the middle, and middle in the end, and still I can tell a story." So this narrative. So what I thought, Jay should make this narrative, but not chronology. There is a difference between chronology and narrative. It's not salwari, it's not timeline. So he made this film accordingly, which is not linear narrative. When you put chronology in order, most of our the films are like chronology, one after the other after the other. It's a linear narrative, and therefore it becomes very constricted. Instead, Jay followed this. Of course, he will explain better what form he followed. What were the elements that impacted this form? Genre, when we talked, I told him, well, let's not call it biopic. It's not biopic, normally speaking. I gave an example of two films. One was Mani called Sata Se Utta Aadmi, which was made on the life and work of Gajanan Madhav Mukti Bodh. All his work in this film, but it was a fiction film. But another film of his, Before My Eyes, which was made in Kashmir Valley, for tourism department, which is not documentary at all. He had Baso's haiku in mind when he made this film. It's a short film, about 20 minutes, and he had Baso's haiku as far as the form is concerned. And he made wonderful film called Before My Eyes. So I had some examples for Jay to keep in mind. And he did that. This film is made according to several elements which are very cinematographic, which he will talk about. Other things that I had in mind, whether this gadget impacts the form, whether this small camera or small mobile phone impacts the form. It does, in fact, because it has its own limitations. It has its own construction constraints, unlike 35 mm big camera, which has the lens. It has the variable lenses. It has wide angle lens. It has deep focus lens. It has aperture and all that. Uh, Take for examples, Ritvik Ghatak. He used as wide as 24 mm films, even 18 mm wide lens, and he took the close up with that lens. So this form has the impact what medium you use, like the painting. What medium you use has the impact on what work you are going to create. So this was kept in mind. It's not just a mobile phone, which is important, but what he makes out of that is important. You can make rubbish out of 35 mm camera and a lot of raw stock in your hand, and you can make excellent film in this mobile phone, which we will see some excerpt and listen to Jay himself. Jay is a postgraduate in science, physics. So he has that benefit, and he also has the knowledge of astronomy. So he had this benefit of both the branches of knowledge, and which he used in the film. The first image we see the film is of the moon surface, which is shot on telescope. Now, I consider this as one factor which affects cinema realism. This is realism is not moon when we have in mind, the moon is always beautiful. But here we feel the moon with a poke mark as if. So this is what he did with the film, and in this film he creates with the heroine, of course, the tracking shot in the mobile phone, which is quite astonishing, but it makes very important part of the formal part of the film. So all these factors, all these elements come together in the film, and that make the form. And this form in this country, we have forms everywhere. If you go to Nathdwara or Srinathji, you have a formal, you have a certain time for the gods, darshan. You have certain swarupa you talk about. All these are part of, and this country has very evolved form of linga, Shivlinga. It might have taken millions of years to evolve that form. Or Lota. From Lota, you have NID, National Institute of Design, the basic for Lota, which Manikal uses in Siddheshwari. So I told him about the sound. What is interesting in this film is the sound. We normally avoid talking about sound, but this film is extremely important. And Jay visited several utensil museums, where every utensil or metal, dhatu, either copper or brass or iron, has its own tone or tonality. So this, he is a walker. He walks a lot. So all these elements are part of this form of the film, which were never talked about. Probably all this will be talked about by Jay Kholia, which you have given, Nitaben and you, Salisbai, given the opportunity to talk about. And this is the first time we are talking about the formal aspects of Kavi Kant film. Over to Jay.
Thank you very much, sir, for introducing the film. And thank you, Sir Swarakshar, Shailesh Bhai, Neetaben, for inviting all of us. I am audible, right? Yeah, okay. So, yeah, I will just pick up from where Amrit Gangar sir left us. The process. That is the main important thing, the rigorous research. But before I do that, I would like to include a few excerpts from my film in this talk. So that will be first glance for this audience, because I understand that almost no one here has seen the film except Amrit sir, Mukul Pandya, and a few people who are connected with the film are present here. One is Akshaya Ramkrishnan. I saw her name. She is the sketch artist of the film, and I'm seeing a name Shevang Berani. He is from Bhavnagar and attached with Patani Archives, one more destination of mine where I had to go to research for my film. And of course, we have uh, the main guide of my research or my entire filmmaking process, Hiren Bhai and my guide Amrit Gangar sir. So and Mukul Bhai, he has translated the text for the film. So technically, they both are also the technical people of this film. So in the beginning, I would like to show the excerpt from my film, which is also the beginning of the film, so that we not only just get the glimpse of the 2023 symposium that Amrit ji mentioned, but we will also get to hear Kavi Kant's Urmi Kavya, Sagar and Shashi, which is sung by Alap Desai, and the composition is done by Ashit Desai. So I would like to share my screen. It is a small 4.5 minute excerpt, and then we will proceed to the research process of the film.
Jay Kholia,
Yeah.
the best work you've done.
Yeah. So I will now start the excerpt. If 20 minutes after you are not able to hear, just let me know. Otherwise, keep on going.
કેટલાક જન્મથી ગ્લાનીના બાળકો હોય છે. આ મનુષ્યોના સ્વભાવના બંધારણના અંતરમાં એવી જરૂર રહેલી હોય છે કે પ્રેમ કરવા અને પ્રેમના પાત્ર થવું એ તેમને આવશ્યક થઈ પડે છે. જ્યારે તેમને એમ લાગે છે કે બીજાઓનો તેમના તરફ અંતઃકરણપૂર્વક સંભાવ છે, ત્યારે તેમને જે સંતોષ થાય છે તે બીજાઓના ઉલ્લાસ કરતાં વધારે શાંત પણ વધારે ગંભીર હોય છે. હું માનું છું કે હું આવા માણસોમાંનો એક છું.
महाराज जल पर उदय जोईने चंद्रनो हृदयमा हर्ष जामे. आज महाराज जल पर उदय जोईने चंद्रनो हृदयमा हर्ष जामे. स्नेह धन कुसुम वन विमल परिमल गहन निज गगन माही उत्कर्ष पानी. स्नेह धन कुसुम वन विमल गहन निज गगन माहि उत्कर्ष पावे। पिता कालना सर्व संताप शामे, नवल रस धवल तव नेत्र सामे। पिता कालना सर्व संताप शामे, नवल रस धवल तव नेत्र सामे। पिता कालना सर्व संताप शामे।
આ જે ઓડિટોરિયમ છે, આ જે સભાખંડ, એ સાહેબ આપણે જે જાદુ કરે છે, કુમારપાળભાઈ દેસાઈ ઇઝ ધ હેડ ઓફ ધીસ ઇન્સ્ટિટ્યુશન કોલ્ડ વિશ્વકોશ. બધા મોટા મોટા વોલ્યુમ તૈયાર કરે છે. એન્ડ ઓલ બિકોઝ ઓફ યુ. આ રૂપરેખાનો ભાગ છે, કારણ કે મેં એમને વિચાર તરતો મૂક્યો શરૂઆતમાં કે આપણે અહીંયા કરીએ તો કેવું થાય. પછી મેં મુકુલને કહ્યું કે વિશ્વકોશમાં આપણે અમદાવાદમાં કરીએ. હી વોઝ થિંકિંગ મુંબઈ, આઈ થિંક એટ ધેટ ટાઈમ. અને વધાવી લીધો અમને. આ વિચારને કુમારપાળભાઈએ વધાવ્યો. આ સ્પેસમાં કવિ કાંતનું હોવું એ એક ઘટના છે. પહેલી વાર આવી મોટી ઘટના બની રહી છે મારા હિસાબે. જન્મ શતાબ્દી મનાવવામાં આવી હતી, પુસ્તકો પબ્લિશ થાય, એ બધું થાય, પણ આ પ્રકારનું એક મોટા પ્રમાણે આટલા બધા ભેગા થાય, આખું ફેમિલી ભેગું થયું છે આજે કવિ કાંતનું.
Yeah, I hope that was audible and everyone could see that properly.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So at the end of this symposium, Mukulbhai had announced, after talking with the trustees of Purvala Foundation, that they would like to produce a film on Kavi Kant. And initially we were thinking about 40 minutes of length. And for that they had chosen me, and they had actually started a fellowship, and the first fellowship was awarded to me. Mr. Natwar Gandhi, please mute your mic. Yeah, okay. So for about over a year, I think I didn't start the work because of my engagement with other projects. In that time, actually, Amrit Gangar sir and I, we edited one more documentary called Panch Tirath, and I think Swar-Akshar deserves an entire session on that film too. And so I think in July 2024, I started my research, and I will begin with telling you about the research. And of course, the first thing was to read what is available. I was not searching for the film's form at the moment, but I was searching what I can find in Gujarat, and what kind of footage I get, visual and as well as the documents and also sounds. And it began with reading of these 6 books that I would like to tell you about. Kantmala, Kant Vishay. Kantmala came out in 1924, right after Kavi Kant's death in 1923. And Kant Vishay, a very well-researched, in-depth research book by Bhrugurai Anjaria. Then there is the Purvala, the Kavi Kant's collection of poems, which actually came out on the same day when he passed away, the 16th June 1923. He was on his way from Rawalpindi to Lahore, and my film covers in what situation he passed away on the train. But on the same day this book came out, and in the second edition of this book, Ramnarayana Vishwanath Pathak, the senior scholar at that time, he had written a 60-page preface of the book, Upodgat, which is also it had so many pointers that I could follow during my research. Then there is Kantna Patro, a book edited by Darshana Dhodakia, which contains 700 letters of Kavi Kant. Then a book, Kavi Kant no Sahitya by Pallavi Bhatt. And she had access to a lot of handwritten material of Kavi Kant, and she had used that to publish some unpublished work of Kavi Kant, many letters as well. And a book by Chandrakant Sheth, Kant no Purvala. And this reading gave me a list of places and a list of people, list of institute that I should visit in all across Gujarat, and also in the traveling. And I had covered Mumbai, Surat, Vadodara, Ahmedabad, Rajkot, Lathi, Chavan, Bhavnagar, and Goka. Each of these places, why I visited, if I go into that, it will become about the research and not the form of the film. So I would like to just briefly go over the my research process, but I would like to spend more time on the film's form, with the fact in mind that people have not seen the film here. So I will keep that in mind. At this moment, I had no structure of the film in my mind. I was just going through what I can find, and some very interesting things I could find. Many unknown stuff I was able to find. One was Kavi Kant's school and his college records for the first time. And for the first time, people of Gujarat were seeing these records, as well as Kavi Kant's records about his various jobs that he did in Vadodara and Bhavnagar. So we are talking about these documents. Also, I was able to find every single book written by Kavi Kant and published by Kavi Kant. So these are raw documents, the papers that which I was seeing. Then a very interesting thing happened. A college friend of mine, he is, I think, part of the Zoom meeting right now. Tejan, can you turn on your camera? Tejan Wade, is he here? Tejan, he works in Sweden. Yeah, there he is. And I have made short films with him in college. And he's right now, he is in Sweden. And I think Amritji and Mukul Pandya they are both seeing him for the first time. And Kavi Kant's life had led him to the Swedenborgian path of Christianity. So I was lucky that Tejan's job was there. So I requested Tejan to go to a Swedenborgian church and do a little research. And the fact that I am bringing this up at this moment is because today he went to that same church to do some further research, and we are actually planning for a screening there. So, and we may have some interesting updates in upcoming weeks. This also connects with what Amrit Gangar says, that the research is never ending. It still keeps on going. And about that, I will a few more things at the end. The films, the voice that you heard in the beginning, that is the voice of Kamal Joshi. He is a renowned stage and screen actor, and he is a professor of English in a college in Lunavada at the moment. And the poems in the film are recited by Kavi Vinod Joshi. And I guess most of you are already familiar with his name, senior poet. And in 2024, he received the Gujarat, not Gujarat, but Sahitya Akademi Award, Delhi. And it connects to Panchtirath because the screening was there, and Amrit Bhai and I could attend that ceremony. Amrit Bhai, he was actually interviewing Vinod Joshi at that time for the Delhi Sahitya Akademi. Anyway, after the first stage of research, I ended up with a list of things that I would like to record, and then began my research travels. And this was actually the moment where I started shooting with this. And the film, I think 30% of the film is shot on this phone. And I always tell people that this is Redmi Note 10 and it cost 14,000 rupees. And I always tell the cost as well, because people say that we have made a film with a mobile phone, and then you ask them, so, and it turns out that it's a 1.5 lakh rupee iPhone. So it is not that kind of film too. So in this day and age, we have to tell what the model of the phone is. And the phone that Hirenbhai, I should tell something about Hirenbhai. Hirenbhai, he started with Amrit Gangar sir, but then he got his training under Mulchand Dedia, the renowned cinematographer. And right now he is working in a big budget Hollywood and Bollywood films. And he is master of lighting. A wireless control he usually keeps in his hands in the big productions. But him and I, we were both students of Amrit Gangar sir, and we were both we were both inspired by his theory, cinema of Prayog. And cinema of Prayog's core is rigor of austerity. And rigor of austerity is nothing but it encourages artists, filmmakers, to use whatever available resources that you have and make a film through that. And you can really create some interesting and some important artworks through the available resources. So we had this phone, and the phone that Hirenbhai used, that was Google Pixel 8. So slightly older version, which costs around 50,000, 60,000 at this moment. But it was not his phone. He had a friend of him has lended the phone to him, basically. And we had a small gimbal, a motorized stand that you can keep your phone in hand so it doesn't generate the shaky images. A little audio recorder, Zoom H1N, and a little microphone, and my own laptop through which I'm sitting right now, and part of this. So not a special laptop that we had. And with all these available resources, we traveled through bus, we traveled on foot, and all that training I got is because Amit sir mentioned that I met him like 10 years ago, but I started assisting him in around 2019. So about 6 to 7 years I have continuously assisted him, and I get to see him do all this research for the film Panch Tirath. I was throughout with him even during the editing process. So assisting him has been my training, and that all that learning I could implement in this making of this film. Now at the end of the what you say, the on foot research, some unknown stuff that I could found. One was I already told you about the Kavi Kant's school and college records, and it is very interesting. In the book Kantmala and in Kant Vishay, it is written that Kavi Kant and Gandhiji, they were together in the school, Kathiawad High School in Rajkot. Just one sentence. But if you Google online, you can see Gandhiji's school records. So I thought if these school records are kept very well, then Kavi Kant's name has to be in those records. So there is a NGO called Vishwagram, and I am attached with it. And Amrit Gangar sir, he is the one who introduced me to Vishwagram. And a friend, Ketan Bhai Lashkari, who is associated with Vishwagram, he was in Rajkot. And I requested him if he can help me to find these documents. And it turns out that in the same general register in which Gandhiji's name is, the entry number 516, that is Mohandas Karamchand, in the same register, the entry 720, that is Manishankar Ratnaji Bhatt, who is Kavi Kant. And while we were going through that register, it was also written that Bakatha, he was a classmate of Gandhiji. So we just skimmed through the register, and entry number 450, that is Balwant Rai Thakur. So you see Mahatma Gandhi, Kavi Kant, who is the father of Khand Kavya form in Gujarati literature, and Balwant Rai Thakur, who introduced sonnet form in Gujarati literature. We are seeing their school records. It was mentioned in the books, but for the first time, we are seeing the documentary evidence of that. And that happened because of the research of this film. And another important thing that I could find was Amrit Gangar sir. He told me to go to the Elphinstone College because there is a Maharashtra State Archives there. And I had to go through the records of Elphinstone College for 2 days. And eventually I found an 1887 list of students who studied at Elphinstone College, because Kavi Kant went there between 1885 to 1888. And he did his BA in logic and moral philosophy. So in the list of students of 1887, I saw the name Bhatt Manishankar Ratnaji. So for the first time, Kavi Kant's college records are with us. And again, I would like to connect with the point that Amrit sir mentioned, the continuous research process. 3 weeks ago, a friend of mine, Pradyot, who is from Gandhinagar, Marsa, associated with Vishwagram NGO, he says that he had come across a book titled Gandhiji na Samkalino ane Sathiyo, and it was published by Navjivan, and in which Kavi Kant's school examination marks were mentioned, how many marks he got, and what rank he got among how many students and everything. And in that it was mentioned that Kavi Kant passed as a West Fund scholar from Elphinstone College in 1888, and the source was given the Elphinstone Bombay University calendar 1888. So of course I Google it. On archive, I found the entire calendar of 1888. The page numbers were mentioned. I go to that page number and it says Manishankar Ratnaji Bhatt passed as a West Fund scholar. So this research is a never-ending process in my belief. I think that. And this is, I think, true for every single research topic that we come across. But I had to stop at one point because we had a deadline of, I think, February. Initially it was February, but eventually it became April. I had started my research in July, and with the February deadline in mind. So now I would like to show another excerpt from the film, which also connects this on-foot research, and as well as it has the you will be able to see Kavi Kant's home, or whatever has survived from his home where he was born. So a little excerpt from the film, and I would like to share my screen once again.
મારો જન્મ લાઠીથી 5 માઇલ પર આવેલ ચાવંડ ગામમાં વિક્રમ સંવત 1924ના કારતક વદી આઠમને વારે થયો હતો. ગામ સુંદર છે. વચ્ચે એક ટેકરી છે અને તે પર ચામુંડા માતાનું મંદિર છે. માતાની ટેકરી પરથી 5 માઇલ સર્વ દિશામાં દેખાય છે. પિતાનું નામ રત્નજી ભટ્ટ અને માતુશ્રીનું નામ મોતીબા. 4 ભાઈઓમાં હું સૌથી નાનો. કથાકાર અને વૈદ્યની પ્રવૃત્તિ હોવાને લીધે પ્રશ્નોરાઓમાં સંસ્કૃત વિદ્વાનોની વસ્તી બીજી સર્વ જ્ઞાતિઓને મુકાબલે વધારે છે. રોજ સવારના 4 વાગતા ઘરમાં મારા દાદા અને પ્રાસાદિક કવિ શ્રી મુકુંદ ભટ્ટના રચેલા ભજનો અને પછી સંસ્કૃત શ્લોકો પણ ગવાતા.
અમરેલી જિલ્લાનું લાઠી તાલુકાનું આ ચાવંડ ગામ, આ ચાવંડ ગામની એ જ શેરી છે જ્યાં આ એ જ શેરી છે, મેઇન બજારની એ જ શેરી છે ત્યાં મણિશંકર રત્નજી ભટ્ટ શ્રી કવિકાંતનો જન્મ થયેલો હતો. આ જગ્યા ઉપર આ એમના મકાનના અવશેષો, આ બધું અહીંયા જે કાંઈ છે એ બચ્યું છે તે. આ મકાન જૂની બાંધણીનું, એક મકાન નીચે એક ઉપર, એ રીતનું માળવાળું મકાન આ હતું. અને આ એ જ સ્થળ, એ જન્મભૂમિનું એ જગ્યા છે. અને હાલ ત્યાં આટલું વધેલું છે. કવિકાંત વિશે મારા દાદા કવિ રાહા બાપાએ ડેરે લખેલો એક દુઓ છે કે કવિભૂમિ કાંતની અને જન્મ ભૂમિકા જે વધારી છે તેની તે ચોક્કસ કીર્તિ શામળા.
5 વર્ષનો થયો હોઈશ તેની પણ પહેલા ગીતા મહાત્મયનો સરહસ્ય શ્લોક પિતાએ શીખવ્યો હતો. મુકમ કરોતિ વાચાલમ પંગુમ લંગયતે ગિરી યત કૃપા તમહમ વંદે પરમાનંદ માધવમ. 11 વર્ષનો હતો ત્યારે પિતાનું મૃત્યુ થયું. મારા પિતા જેવા પ્રતાપી, સરળ, ધવલ અને નિર્મલ પુરુષ મેં જિંદગીમાં પછી જોયા નથી.
Okay. So that portion that you saw with me, Vijay Dare, is a local resident of Chavand. That type of research I had done in all of the cities that I told you earlier. And the shot that you saw, every single shot appearing in that clip, that was shot on mobile phone. Either, I think, apart from the death that I had shown with falling of uprooted plant, that was shot in this phone. Rest of the shots were taken on Hirenbai's phone. The film has a very strong, it borrows strongly from nature, and that comes from Kavi Kant's own poems. Kavi, if you read his Khand Kavyas are basically long poems in the meter form. So if you know the Chand Shastra that comes from Sanskrit and to the languages Hindi and also Gujarati. So these are Chandobaddha Kavyas, but long poems. In his Khand Kavyas and also a sonnet that he wrote, Upahar, you continuously see that he is borrowing from the symbols he is borrowing from. They are actually from nature, from the sky, from fire, from water, from the river. And I would like to quote a poem of him, Upahar sonnet, the first 4 lines, which are Fariyo tari સાથે પ્રિયતમ સખે સૌમ્ય વયના સવારોને જોતો વિકસિત થતા શૈલ શિખરે અને કુંજે કુંજે શ્રવણ કરતો ઘાસ પરના મયુરોની કેકા ધ્વનિત ધસતી જ્યાં ગગનમાં. So if you read these lines, I will translate it into English in the best possible manner, that he is roaming in nature with a friend. And you see the explanations how he is roaming with a friend in the nature. Beautiful grasslands, singing peacocks, and the lush bushes he is talking about. After Kavi Kant passed away, his dear friend Balwant Rai Thakur, he in a lecture explained the underlying meaning behind this poem, that he is actually talking about the days he had spent with Balwant Rai Thakur in the college. So that nature actually represents the literature that those two had gone through. So those lush green bushes, what those bushes are. One bush is about the kunj that we have. One kunj is about the English literature. One kunj is French literature. One kunj is Greek literature. So I also decided to borrow the symbols from nature. In the first excerpt that I shown you, it begins with the surface of the moon. Now, Kant obviously means one of the synonyms, that is, it means moon. And one of the craters on the moon is actually named after Immanuel Kant, but the spelling is the same, K-A-N-T. So for us, that is the crater of Kavi Kant. And that specific crater is very prominently shown in that footage. So actually a filmmaker or an artist should never tell about the underlying meaning, but this is just to give you an idea that these types of elements, this type of symbolism that you see in my film, that is not my original idea, but it comes from Kavi Kant himself. In the last excerpt I will be showing, you will see the fire prominently shown. And fire that I have attached with in the film, wherever you see fire or sun, that directly relates to Kavi Kant's search for truth. And the same thing goes for whenever you see the plants either growing or uprooted, or you see trees, or you see the sky. One thing that I learned from Amrit Gangar, that is, the sky is the ultimate cinema. And in my film, you will see sky prominently, and each sky has its own nature. Each sky, this shot of sky, has its own nature, has its own character. So whenever you see, it somehow relates to what is going on in Kavi Kant's own life. At this moment, I would like to mention the French director Robert Bresson, and his book Notes on a Cinematographer, in which he says a very interesting thing about how the images are put in the film, how the images are edited. I would like to read his quote directly, and then I will tell you how I connected that with my film. Bresson says, an image must be transformed by contact with other images, as is a color by contact with other colors. A blue is not the same blue beside a green, a yellow, a red. No art without transformation. This is from his book, Notes on a Cinematographer. So when an image is put right next to another image, in the film we can call it the juxtaposition, it changes its tone, it changes its meaning, and that is exactly what I was going through in my film. I talked about the paperwork that I had found, the books, the documents. I had the on-ground research footage, like you saw me with Vijay Dare there. I had the Kavi Kant symposium footage. I had the narration from Kamal Bhai Joshi. I had the recitation from Vinod Bhai Joshi. But how do I connect all this? And also the shots that Hiren Bhai brilliantly took on the phone, the mobile phone footage. That is also an integral part. So how do I connect all this? How do I form my film? Actually, we are talking about the form. So here, this Bressonian thought really helped me, because at this moment, I did not have which shot is going to placed where in the film exactly. It all came after the research recce, the research travels ended. I will tell a little bit about my research travels. After the research travels, I read all the letters by Kavi Kant from the book Kantmala, and also the book I mentioned, Darshana Dodokia's book, all 700 letters. And in the film, every single word said by Kamal Bhai Joshi, that is from Kavi Kant's own letters. And the another part, the recitation part, Vinod Bhai Joshi, those are the poems of Kavi Kant himself. So every single word spoken in the film comes from Kavi Kant. So I am not, as a filmmaker, I am not putting any opinion of mine that maybe this happened, maybe that happened. Every single thing in the film is based on a fact, and it is through Kavi Kant himself, as if he is taking us, he is giving a guided tour throughout his life. That is the overall structure of the film. But with these documents, this symbolic footage, recitation, narration, everything combined. Now, I don't know whether Akshaya has returned or not. Maybe she had to leave. But Akshaya and her partner, Dhaivat, Kavi Kant, they are both architects actually, but they both are very good artists as well. And only 6 photographs of Kavi Kant are available to us. One is him with Balwant Rai Thakur, then 3 of his portraits, one very important photograph which was taken in the second Gujarati Sahitya Parishad, which happened during 1907. And just last week, we found the caption of the group photograph in which Kavi Kant was present. And now we know who are in this group photo. And the iconic photograph of Kavi Kant that you saw in the first excerpt, that is from this second Gujarati Sahitya Parishad. So what do I do? How do I represent Kavi Kant in a pictorial form if I don't have his photos? So instead of going for AI, I requested Akshaya and Dhaivat to create sketches. And the sketch that you saw in the excerpt, that Kavi Kant was with his family, that, and I guess roughly about 20 to 22 other sketches are in the film. Those are done by Akshaya and Dhaivat. Now, I would like to quote, not quote, but I would like to mention another filmmaker, that is Andrei Tarkovsky. He is from Russia. And I believe that in the previous talks by Amrit Gangar sir in Swar-Akshar, he has mentioned him. And in his book, Andrei Tarkovsky calls filmmaking sculpting in time. He says that what you are filming on the film, that is the time, and you are sculpting it. And he is arguing that film is a temporal form. And in that book, Sculpting in Time, he talks about time pressure. Now, what time pressure is, that when you when you put shot after shot together, each shot has a flow of its own time. Yeah, okay, it's mute now. Each shot has a flow of a time in itself. But when you put 2 shots together, the time pressure, if the time pressure is, there is a mismatch in the time pressure, it won't feel good to the viewers. That is what he is saying. So when you put shot after shot or a sequence after sequence, you need to keep the time pressure in mind. But here we are not talking about just the shots. We are also talking about documents, sketches, and everything. So his theory, I had to always, this word was throughout in my mind, this time pressure word. That how do I edit all of this together? In the film, you will see that there is a long gradual shifts in color, in music, in the shots of nature. There are recurring shots, there are reversed shots, there are shifts in focus as well. All these things are done with this idea of time pressure in mind. With this, I would also like to say that we can't just focus completely on Kavi Kant's life. We also need to see in the important historical events that were shaping him. So in the film, many such events are covered. One thing that in the very first sentence, Shailesh Bhai said that we are going back to Pandit Yuga. So we have taken a quote from Chandrakant Sheth to explain the viewers what Pandit Yuga is. We also see the environment in which Kavi Kant was in the Elphinstone College. We also see the Kavi Kant not just as a Kavi, but also a playwright, a translator, and also a very important aspect, an educationist. And he has created a treatise and a 900-page treatise on education, and it is called Shikshano Itihas. And in my film, the uh, author and critic from Bharuch, Minal Dave, she talks about this treatise, Shikshano Itihas. You will see that also in the film. And we also see Kavi Kant, there were so many dukars, there were so many plagues that had happened and famines in that era. And the famous Chappanyo Dukar, usually people understand that it's 1956, but no, that is 1956 Vikram Samvat, which makes it 1900, 1899 to 1900 in years. So how these famines and plagues affected him. Kavi Kant's son Ajit, he passed away at an age of roughly 8 to 10 years. We don't know exactly when. During one of the plagues which had happened in Bhavnagar around 1918 to 1919. Now the mention of Ajit isn't anywhere. Except I found about Ajit in an article written by Muni Kumar, who is Kavi Kant's elder son. He had written an essay called Ame Sahu, means us all. We are us all. I think we can say that. And in that essay, he talks about his brother Ajit who passed away. So the mention of Ajit, I was surprised that it wasn't in the Brugura Anjariya book or Kantmala or anywhere like that. Or you see mention of his name, but you don't know who he is. But eventually you keep on reading and reading, and eventually you come up with the information that, oh, Ajit is the Kavi Kant had a son named Ajit. Mukul Bhai and I had a talk that we didn't know who Babar was, and his name was coming up in his letters. And in Minal Dave's talk during symposium, she had said that Kavi Kant's student, Babar Ambai Das Patel, he had published his book Hira Madek Ek Moti Khan. So, and Dincharya. So that way, eventually, gradually we come up, we are like detectives. We are finding out, oh, this means this and this means that. The name we heard here, it clicks, where is it from? And then we make interesting connections with that. So I already said that in the film, we are not seeing Kavi Kant only as a poet, because the people of Gujarat somehow has tied him to his 4 Khand Kavyas. If you say the name Kavi Kant, people say that he is the father of Khand Kavya form. He wrote Sagar and Shashi, and that's it. But if you read about him, he is a very, very complex person and very versatile person indeed. And you see that he is also a playwright, he is a translator, he is an educationist, he is a thinker. And throughout his life, he is in search for the truth. And when we talk about search for the truth, we have to talk about his religious transformation. And that is a very huge aspect, very important aspect in the film. Perhaps I have received this not just in a, what do you say, not just a comment on the film, but some people have criticized it also, that you are paying so much attention on his religious exploration and you are not covering his poems. But that is intentional. If you go through his poems, if you go through his letters, you will see that roughly about 25%, 25 years of his life, the second half of his life, it is continuously about his search for truth. And at one point, he also says that the man who created the Khand Kavya form, he says that I consider my Swedenborgian translations the most important work that I have done. So if this comment comes from Kavi Kant, it becomes so much important for us. So in this form that we are talking about, in this film's form, this religious exploration, it becomes very important and it takes a huge part of the film. Now we are talking about the versatile and complex person. the book cover that Amrit Bhai showed, the book about the symposium essays, that is called Bahuayami Kavi Kant, multifaceted Kavi Kant. It directly connects with this. And here I would like to show one more small segment which will introduce us with Kavi Kant's versatility, and also it will make us see how he was aware about what was happening not just in Gujarat but in the world, and what has happened in the world, not just historically but also literary as well. And he writes the play Roman Swarajya, and he writes the play Guru Gobind Singh. One play is about the democracy, the democratic government forming in not government but democratic society forming in Rome, Rome. And the second play, Guru Gobind Singh, is about Hindu-Muslim unity, which was actually very much needed during that time, because the Guru Gobind Singh play is written about 1914, and in 1915 Gandhiji comes to India, and at that time everywhere I see in the Gujarati literature, also I could see that in the second Gujarati Sahitya Parishad report, a poem written by Kavi Khabardar, it talks about religious unity, and this play Guru Gobind Singh also talks about religious unity. So one small segment from my film. Here Satish Vyas, the senior playwright critic, he will talk about Roman Swarajya, and Dipti Ben Joshi, she is an actress. She will talk about the play Guru Gobind Singh.
ઈસવીસન પૂર્વે 510નો રોમન ઇતિહાસ કાંતે હાથમાં લીધો અને એ વખતે રોમમાં રાજાશાહી હતી. શા માટે એ આ કથાનક પસંદ કરે છે એ આપણે માટે મહત્વનો વિષય છે. 1911માં કાંતે આ નાટક લખ્યું છે. પ્રગટ થયું 1924માં. મહાત્મા ગાંધી 1915માં દક્ષિણ આફ્રિકાથી અહીંયા આવે છે. હજી સ્વરાજ શબ્દ લોકપ્રિય થયો નથી. કાંત જ્યારે પહેલી વાર શીર્ષક આપે છે ત્યારે રોમન લોક શાસન આવું શીર્ષક પસંદ કરે છે. ગાંધીજી પહેલા કાંતને લોક સ્વરાજનો એક વિચાર મનમાં ઉઠ્યો છે. એટલે જે અબ્રાહમ લિંકનના ચરિત્ર પાસે પણ જાય છે. લોકશાહી મૂલ્યો એમના ચિત્તમાં બેસી ગયા છે કે લોકો શાસન કરશે તો શાસનનું સ્વરૂપ પ્રમાણમાં સારું હશે.
આથી 100 વર્ષથી વધુ વર્ષ પહેલા કવિ કાંતને એ બાબતની પ્રતીતિ થઈ ગઈ હતી કે આપણા પ્રજાત્વની નિર્બળતાનું ખરું કારણ હિન્દુ મુસલમાનનો ભેદ છે. ગુરુ ગોવિંદસિંહ નાટકમાં આ પ્રશ્નની ચર્ચા છે. આપણા ભારત વર્ષમાં હિન્દુ મુસ્લિમ બંને ધર્મ પ્રત્યે સંભાવ રાખનાર હતા કબીર, બીજા હતા ગુરુ નાનક, અને આ ગુરુ પરંપરાના છેલ્લા ગુરુ એટલે ગુરુ ગોવિંદસિંહનું જીવન વૃત્તાંત લેખકે પોતાના નાટકના વિષય વસ્તુ તરીકે પસંદ કર્યું છે. બંને ધર્મોની પર્યાલોચના અને બંને ધર્મમાં કઈ દિશાએ સુધારાઓ આવશ્યક છે એ બાબત પ્રતિપાદિત કરવાનો લેખકનો આ નાટકમાં પ્રયાસ છે.
So here you get a glimpse of Kavi Kant as a playwright, and the Bahuayami Kavi Kant, the multifaceted Kavi Kant. So I would like to conclude my talk right now because I think my time is over. And what after this film, what are the future prospects and what are the future possibilities? So during my research, I found that Kavi Kant's books some of the books here you heard Satish Bhai saying that Kavi Kant went to Abraham Lincoln's life. He is actually talking about 1895 book which Kavi Kant wrote for Gujarat Vernacular Society. It's President Lincoln Nu Charitra, biography of President Lincoln. So this Lincoln book, then there is a novel by unfinished novel by Kavi Kant, that is Kumar and Gauri. Then there is unfinished novella, you can say, a small novel, Hira Manek Ek Moti Khan. These books in Gujarat, if you then there is the Sangeet Iliad, the story of Iliad that Kavi Kant had written in the musical form for the Maharaja of Bhavnagar, Maharaja Bhav Singh Ji. So these books, only one copies are surviving. I found that in my research. There may be more books, but we don't know that. So my suggestion to Purvala Foundation was that if they can digitize these books, then that will be great. Then we will be able to save the Akshar De of Kavi Kant. What every single letter, every single word written by him will survive forever. So they agreed, and I am pleased to inform that just 2 weeks ago, I ended that project as well. And every single book by Kavi Kant now has been, all the pages are photographed. And we are planning that during this year, one after another, we will be releasing these ebooks. I think if Mukul Bhai says that about all these points, then that will be very important. I will stick to the film only. We have had roughly 15 screenings across Gujarat, and one screening in Mumbai, 2 screenings in Chennai. The film got selected in Chennai International Documentary and Short Film Festival at the end of February. And the Tamil people got to see this side of Gujarat. Actually, there were comments that we never knew this type of things have happened in Gujarat, and we don't know that this type of films are being made in Gujarat. So that was a very wonderful experience for me that Tamil people got to see. And the film's sketch artist Akshaya, she is from Chennai. So that is one thing that happened. And Mukul Bhai, the film, Mukul Bhai already was in touch with Swedenborgian scholar Eleanor Schnar. She is from Pennsylvania, and she had agreed to send us a pre-recorded video about Kant and Swedenborgism and Swedenborgism in India overall. And a 25-minute talk offer was part of the 2023 symposium as well. So Eleanor Schnar, she had organized a screening in Pennsylvania in October, 19th of October last year. And Mukul Bhai went there, and it was a wonderful event, wonderful opinions, wonderful reactions from the audience. I think one important thing that is still stuck to my mind is what Eleanor's mother had said. After watching the film, she said, "It's like I am seeing a color for the first time," she had said. And so this type of interesting reactions I'm getting, and I would still like to get throughout this year. We will be organizing a few more screenings as well. I believe Swar-Akshar and friends of Shailesh Bhai, you will organize a screening there, in a local screening among friends. So these things will keep on happening. And before I end, I think it would be appropriate that we end with Kavi Kant's prayer, a little 4-line prayer that he had written. It is one of the, I love these 4 lines very much. It's called Ishwar Stuti, and in which he has wonderfully connected Shiv and Jesus. And one aspect that I would like to say at this point, that I was actually a physics student, and my final year project that was related to astronomy. So this astronomical footage that you see in the film, that it's slightly, not slightly, it's directly attached to that. All those shots, the astronomical shots that you saw and that you are about to see in this excerpt are taken by me, not from the internet. So we will end with Kavi Kant's poem, Ishwar Stuti. And that will be end of my talk.
ઓ ટાઇટન, તારી કીર્તિની માફક ભલા, મહાન અને આનંદપૂર્ણ, સુંદર અને અંધીન થવું છે. ફરી ફરીને વિચારતા પણ મારી ધાર્મિક માન્યતા મને ખોટી લાગતી નથી. કોઈ વાર લાગતું હતું કે પ્રકાશનો ઉપયોગ ન થવાથી પ્રભુએ તે લઈ લીધો છે. બુઝાયેલો અગ્નિ ફરી પ્રજ્વલિત થશે જ નહીં. પરંતુ પિતા મને પોતાની વિભૂતિ બતાવવા લાગ્યો છે. તે પિતા સ્નેહ છે. ગોડ ઇઝ લવ એ મારું તો ધર્મસૂત્ર છે. એ જ ઋગ્વેદનું પુરાણ અગ્નિ. એટલે હું ઈશ્વરાગ્નિને, ઈશ્વરી સ્નેહને, જ્વલંત સૃષ્ટિદાજને પૂજું છું. હૃદયમાં એ અગ્નિની સ્થાપના થાય તે જ સાચું અગ્નિહોત્ર.
ઉત્પત્તિ સ્થિતિ વિશ્વ આ સકલની છે સર્વ જે તાતથી. ઉદ્ધારાર્થ મનુષ્યના અવતરે જે માનવી માતથી. જે ધાતા જગનો પવિત્ર પ્રભુ, જે ત્રાતા સ્વયં નંદન, તે શ્રી સાંબ દયાલુ શંકર પિતા, સ્વીકારજો વંદન.
Thank you very much, Shailesh bhai. Now over to Mukul bhai, and if he can say about the future of Purvala Foundation. Mukul bhai, you are mute right now.
Mute છો તમે?
Still, yeah, okay.
Okay. So that was an amazing presentation, Jay. And Amrit, thank you so much for introducing everything so well. I've prepared some remarks which I'll just go through. So I wanted to just wish you all good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are joining from. I would like to begin by expressing my heartfelt gratitude to Shailesh bhai and Neeta Ben for organizing this gathering through Swar-Akshar, and to Amrit and Jay for sharing their perspectives on the making of the film. And thank you all of you, for being here today. Your presence means a great deal to me. The opportunity to learn more about Kavi Kant, my great-grandfather, whom I knew as Dadaji, and his work has been one of the most fulfilling developments of my life. You have already heard from Amrit and Jay about the background of the film and the creative choices made behind it. I just thought I would add a few words about how this journey began and where it is headed. In 2021, I retired from the Wharton School of the University of Pennsylvania after working there for 23 years. For 22 of those years, I edited the school's research journal, which I had helped to found in 1998. 3 years after my retirement, I suffered a stroke and was out of action for about a year and a half. During that time, I thought a lot about what would be meaningful to do with whatever years remained. I remembered that Dadaji's death centenary was approaching in 2023. It brought to mind the fact that when I was 10 years old in 1967, my grandparents, Jayant Kumar and Manorama Bhatt, to whom this film pays tribute, were actively involved in celebrating Kavi Kant's birth centenary. Now, as a child, I did not understand what was happening, but I do recall the excitement and joy that was apparent even to me. So I thought, we ought to do something to honor his memory, though I didn't know how. The idea of making a biographical film came about in a conversation with Amrit Gangar and a few other friends. One person who consistently encouraged me, and in addition to Amrit, was my late friend Manilal Gala. So with help from my sister Davini and cousins Sonal, Sharvari, Neha, and Nihar, we set up the Purvala Foundation. As you know, Amrit helped to curate a day-long symposium in June 2023 in Ahmedabad at the Gujarat Vishwakosh Trust, with support from Jay and other young collaborators and the extended Kavi Kant family. It was at that event that I announced that we would like to offer Jay a fellowship to make this documentary. What I discovered in the process of being involved with this film moved me profoundly. In poring over Dadaji's voluminous correspondence, all 700 letters, as you heard from Jay, one of the editors, Darshana Ven, was struck by two qualities above all: his endless curiosity, his ceaseless quest for truth, and his profound capacity for love. For family, for friends, for students, even for those who wronged him, Kavi Kant's love shines through, undimmed by suffering. His embrace of Swedenborg's teachings following devastating personal losses came at immense cost. It triggered a brutal ostracism from his Nagar Brahmin community, which pressured him to publicly recant. And yet inwardly, his convictions remained unshaken. That willingness to stand alone for one's principles, even in the face of rejection and ruin, is perhaps his greatest legacy. But beyond the public figure, it is the private man who moves me most. His values of loving one another, of helping to support and uplift each other, they are especially relevant in our times. Respect for all faiths and living in harmony with people everywhere was so important to Dadaji. He ends his poem Hind Mata Ne Sambodhan with the words, Chaho Badha Paraspar, Saho Badha Paraspar, calling upon everyone to love one another and support each other, support one another. That is a timeless message and one that feels critical in these divisive times. I'm so happy that the film has been well received. It has been written up in various publications, including the Gujarati section of the BBC. And as you heard from Jay, it has been screened in different parts of Gujarat and other parts of India. In the US, last October, as you heard, it was screened in Bryn Athyn, Pennsylvania, which is a major center for the Swedenborgian community in the US. And today's event, organized by Swar-Akshar, is part of the effort to continue to bring Dadaji's story to audiences beyond India. As you just heard from Jay, the Purvala Foundation has two important priorities for this year. The first is to publish a book of scholarly papers based on the 2023 Punya Shatabdi Symposium. And the second, as you heard from both Amrit and Jay, is to digitize all of Kavi Kant's works and to make them freely available to scholars and students through the Purvala Foundation website. This website has been excellently built by Parjanya, the son of my late friend Manilal Gala, with help from Jay. We want Dadaji's poetry, his plays, his translations, his letters, all of it, to be accessible to anyone who wants to study them. I would encourage those of you who are interested to please sign up on the Purvalabh Foundation website to be informed of updates as these projects come to fruition. The URL is purvalabhfoundation.org. In conclusion, I just want to say one thing. We may not be able to match Dadaji's creative genius or his poetic brilliance, but I believe the best way to honor him is to try to be a little more like him. We can try to emulate his moral courage, his spiritual sincerity, and above all, all of us can nurture our capacity to love. Thank you very much. I'm sorry I become emotional when I talk about this, but I thank you all very much.
Thank you. On behalf of Swarakshire, Shailesh and I would like to thank all of you, especially our guests. You have taken out so much time from your busy schedules. And Amrit Bhai, thank you for guiding and showing light to all these things, our hidden gem. And we are all here together to celebrate our great, great poet, Kavi Kant, Pandit Yugna poet, Kavi Kant. As Jay mentioned, multifaceted person, poet, writer, translator, educationist, Kavi Kant. And definitely, I would like to say, Mukulbhai, thank you very much. This is the least you can do. Ahu Pitru Tarpan, જે તમે કરી રહ્યા છો એ આખી કમ્યુનિટી માટે બહુ જ આશીર્વાદરૂપ છે. And friends, many of us had told us at Swar-Akshar that you are celebrating Kavi Kant and why you are doing it in English. But now I believe after this small talk, you would know why we have done it in English, because we want all the people. We just don't want to limit it to Gujarati. We wanted to just spread it to all the people who cannot understand or speak Gujarati, but this is a person, this is a poet. It needs to reach everywhere in the world. So we thank all of you. And Jay, I don't know what to say for you, because what you have done is an excellent job, because as all Gujaratis, we always the only thing the generation, your generations before you, all Gujaratis, all we do is હવે ગુજરાતીનું શું થશે, કોણ વાંચશે, શું થશે. But what you have done in your generation, how much interest you have taken and what you have created. And today, especially with the form, you could totally justify the title of our talk, that form, what is form, and what you were trying to talk about the form. And I would just borrow a few words from your talk, that you said that you don't want to talk a lot about it. You don't want to open up. The artists don't open up. They don't explain their work. But it is so important to explain what you have done. Otherwise, you brought Chavanna એક કવિના દુહાથીને, you connected with Bresson, you connected with Tarkovsky. And it is important to learn your physics, your pictures, and how કાંતને તમે Immanuel Kant સુધી કેવી રીતે જોડી આપ્યા. So this is unity, and it is so important in today's world. You connected Khandakavya, father of Khandakavya, to father of our great nation, Mahatma Gandhi. It is very important. Ajna Samayma, in today's time, unity is important. And I will end, and we all can go on and on and on about Kant. and all these things. But unity is important, and I'll end my thanking note with Kavi Kantna Shabdo Chaho and Saho. Yes, we all need to do that today. And આ ગોવર્ધન તો આ લોકોએ ઊંચક્યો જ છે. સ્વરાક્ષરે પણ આંગળી અડાડી છે અને આપણે બધા એમાં આંગળી અડાડી. And Mukulbhai, you are not the only one. I'm also very emotional about this. Thank you very much.
So now we'll open up for feedback and Q&A. For very specific questions regarding Kavi Kant and film and the form, it will be appreciated. The feedback is short and sweet. Raise your hand, virtual or physical, and I'll get one after the other. Rekha Iyer, please unmute yourself and go ahead.
નમસ્તે એવરીવન. આ સાંભળીને એટલું ઇમોશનલ થઈ જવાયું અને જય જે રીતે રિસર્ચ કર્યું છે અને વિધાઉટ એની ઇન્ટરનેટ કે કશાની મદદ વગર જે રીતનું આટલું ડીપમાં રિસર્ચ કર્યું છે એના માટે જય હેડ્સ ઓફ ટુ યુ. બહુ જ સરસ કામ કર્યું છે એન્ડ આઈ રિયલી એપ્રિશિએટ ઇટ. થેન્ક યુ.
Thank you, Rekha Ben.
ઇન્ટરનેટની મદદ એ લેવી પડે એ કહેવું જોઈએ મારે કે કોઈક રેફરન્સીસ મળી જાય. જેમ કે મેં વાત કરી કે કાંત વેસ્ટ ફ્રન્ટ સ્કોલર હતા, એ ટાઈપનું રિસર્ચ મારું ઇન્ટરનેટ પર જ થયું છે. પણ ઇન્ટરનેટ પર થયા પછી જગ્યાએ જઈને એનું સંશોધન કરવું એ સૌથી વધારે ઇમ્પોર્ટન્ટ હતું.
સુરેન્દ્રભાઈ, તમે હાથ ઊંચો કર્યો એવું મને. હા, અનમ્યુટ કરજો.
હા, સંભળાય છે ને?
હા
હા, ઘણો જ ગમ્યો કાર્યક્રમ. મેં મારી કમેન્ટમાં લખ્યું તેમ તમે બધા અભિનંદનના અધિકારી છો. અત્યારે મારે ખાલી એક જ પ્રશ્ન છે અને કાંતના કોઈક સ્કોલર કદાચ આનો જવાબ આપી શકે. એમના વસંત વિજય કાવ્યમાં બહુ સરસ ખંડ કાવ્ય છે, કેટલા બધા છંદોનો સરસ ઉપયોગ કર્યો છે. એમાં એક ઠેકાણે કહે છે પાંડુ ચલાવી દે પાછી મધુર સ્વરની રમ્ય સરિતા. તો સરિતાને ચલાવી દે કે છે ને એ કંઈક મને ખૂંચે છે એમ તો ન કહું, હું કોણ કાંતનું આ રીતે એનાલાઇઝ કરનાર, પણ એમ થાય છે કે ચલાવી દે ને બદલે વહાવી દે કહ્યું હોત તો વધારે અનુરૂપ કે યોગ્ય નહોતું. કોઈક કાંતના સ્કોલર આના પર જો કંઈક સમજણ આપી શકે તો હું આભારી થઈશ અત્યારે, અથવા તો પછી ક્યારેક કોઈક ફોરમમાં, અથવા તો હમણાં જ આ વેબસાઇટની વાત કરી purvalaphfoundation.org. થેન્ક યુ.
તમારો ફિલ્મ જ્યારે સિમ્પોઝિયમ થયો ત્યારે કવિકાંતના 5 જીવનના ભાગો કે કવિકાંતનું પદ્ય, ગદ્ય, નાટ્ય, પત્ર અને સત્ય એમ 5 બેઠકો થઈ હતી. અને એમાં પદ્યનો જે ભાગ છે એમાં સ્પીકર હતા રાજેશભાઈ પંડ્યા અને બારીનભાઈ મહેતા. તો તમારો પ્રશ્ન એમને પૂછી શકાય તો તમને સચોટ જવાબ મળે. અને હા, એમને જરૂર પૂછીને તમને એનો ઉત્તર મળે એ હું કાળજી રાખીશ.
નિયતિ અંતાણી પણ હતા ને?
હા, નિયતિ અંતાણી એના મોડરેટર હતા.
તો છંદશાસ્ત્રમાં એણે પીએચડી કર્યું છે.
યસ, હા, નિયતિ અંતાણી, બરાબર.
ચોક્કસ જવાબ આપીશ.
જયભાઈ,
જી
જયભાઈ, થેન્ક યુ સો મચ. તો આનો જવાબ મળે તો શેના પર વાંચી શકાય અથવા સાંભળી શકાય?
હું શૈલેષભાઈ થ્રુ તમને પહોંચાડાવી શકું.
થેન્ક યુ સો મચ અગેન.
હા હા, નો પ્રોબ્લેમ.
હાજી, તમને બધાને થેન્ક્સ.
જી જી,
થેન્ક યુ સુરેન્દ્રભાઈ. નીતા
જી
unmute karje. Nita, unmute. Yeah.
Just one more thing, Jay. I forgot to mention that everywhere possible, you have given due credit to everybody, and that is very important. Thank you.
Learn from my guru, Amrit Gangar sir. In entire book, Bahuyami Kavi Kant, everywhere every credit is given from where we got this information. It is his method. I have been assisting him. And one important point I forgot, that eventually after the research, the total length of the film came out 1 hour and 24 minutes. So it is a good thing that we found so much stuff. And in the same budget, in the same short film budget, even ended up making feature length film. I think Minesh Bhai Shah, he has had his hand up. Yeah, Minesh Bhai.
Yeah. Jay, you make us very proud for what you have done and what you are doing.
Yeah.
I was a bit late in joining you, but I thought it's better late than never.
Yeah.
And you really did a great job. And we would love to see the movie at the very earliest opportunity.
Yeah.
Shailesh Bhai and Nita Ben, go for it.
It's
અને
it's
શૈલેષભાઈ એક વાક્ય તમારા માટે કહેવું છે અને ગુજરાતીમાં કહીશ કે આ શર્ટમાં તમારો વટ પડે છે સાહેબ.
Thank you, thank you. Film, definitely we are working on a date, and we will let you know. And for those around Greater Toronto area, we will definitely we are doing it, no doubt about it. It's just a matter of time. We'll let you know as soon as we finalize the date and things. Yes, Jay.
Dr. R.P. Shah, he had raised his hand. Yeah.
Yeah, R.P. Shah. Yeah.
Excellent presentation, Shailesh, Nita, Jay, excellent. I like your research. I would like to have a second session on Swar-Akshar when the film is released at multiple places, and I will visit that thing. At that time, I think the best will be like a direction cut. So let the movie maker by Amrit Gangar, and the whole thing, including the audience, let's have a director's cut discussed in this mega project. I would love that thing, because here everything we see in cut pieces right now. Of course, this is a very elemental stage right now. I loved it the way Jai has done research, and even good things about Bhai Amrit Gangar's explanation also. What is a movie? What is a natak? And all these things. So I think a director's cut will be a big mega session on Swar-Akshar. Thank you.
Definitely, RP. One of the reasons we do this ahead of time, we did with Salil Tripaঠি's book also, to generate that interest. And once it is out, we talk about it again. So your point taken. Very well taken.
Yes. This is fantastic suggestion. And on the T-shirt, I could read Salvador Dali. Sir.
Yes.
My next article in Navnit Samarpan is going to be on film Chandlu. Chandlu was the first surrealist film, short film, made by Louis Buñuel and Salvador Dali. So it's so nice. What he said is absolutely right. You are the first one, Swar-Akshar is the first one to talk only about the form. And today what Jai was saying was never heard before. So we are grateful to you, both Nita and Shailesh Desai.
Thank you, Amrit Bhai.
Think of this.
Yeah. And what Nita Ben said, we have one more young man with us. Shevang, how are you? He works in Patni Archives, and he is an archivist. Patni Archives is a wonderful place in Bhavnagar, and they have a huge collection of books and documents of Sir Prabhashankar Patni, who was also with Kant, Gandhiji and Bakatha in the same school with them. And he became a Diwan of Bhavnagar. So how are you, Shevang?
Hi, કેમ છે?
બસ.
મારે પણ કેવું છે જયભાઈ વિશે.
Yeah, sure.
કે જયભાઈ પહેલી વખત જ્યારે ભાવનગર આવ્યા છે અને આર્કાઇવ્સની મુલાકાત લીધી ત્યારે જેવી રીતે ઈ કવિ કાંતની બુક અને એવું બધું આર્કાઇવ્સમાંથી ગોતતા હતા ત્યારે મને એમ લાગતું તો આ શું કરશે, ફિલ્મ બનાવશે ને આમ ને તેવા બધા વિચાર આવતા હતા. પણ જ્યારે એમણે ફિલ્મ બનાવીને ભાવનગરમાં રજૂ કરી ત્યારે મને એમ થયું કે એમનું રિસર્ચ એક બહુ સારું કામ કહેવાય અને એમનામાંથી મને પણ એવી પ્રેરણા મળીશ કે હું પણ આવું સંશોધન એવું કરી શકીશ. થેન્ક યુ જયભાઈ.
સરસ. An entire technical team of my film, that they are all the millennials, 90s born kid. So Akshaya, Daivat, Hiren Bhai, me, and my elder brother, he is actually the technical advisor of the film. And Amrit Bhai always says that some Shwet cases have taken the guidance from the Shyam cases have taken the guidance of Shwet cases and have made
Right,
this
right,
film.
right.
One small correction, Jay.
Yeah.
Mulchand Dedia is a gaffer, not cinematographer.
Okay.
That is how he learned the art of lighting.
Okay.
He's my neighbor.
Yes.
Yeah, he has work on all the Meera Nair's films. He's so reputed.
Yeah.
But Hiren is another mind, which is very rich. I think next month you are going to have him, no?
No, Amrit bhai, next month નથી available. If Jay kiddu time they have a film on floor. So as soon as it's done, hopefully June, July. But yeah, he has committed. It's just a matter of time.
But I think in May when we have Cinema Pro and Ashish Abikuntak and Sarunas from Lithuania and Erin Donnell from USA, professors, and the curator, Stefan Boros, I most of the points that Salvador Dali, if I tell you, address you as mentioned. Probably we can cover that, but we can have a special session on what he was suggesting. That will be fantastic. If you can do that, that will take
Yeah, Amrit.
part.
Yeah, Amrit bhai, video
There's no
બંધ કરશો તો
take a
સંભળાશે.
close up.
વિડિયો બંધ કરો તો તમારું સંભળાશે નહીં તો it's cutting
When
off.
you
Sorry.
what I meant આપણે ઘણીવાર આપણે કરી નાખીએ કે આ તો ટેકનિકલ વાત છે, એવું નથી. Technical is also part of aesthetic in cinema, moving image. So I think that will be wonderful if you can have a session specially on this, what he suggested. Mitesh Bhai, no? He suggested?
Yeah. No,
RP.
Dr.
RP suggested. Jay bhai?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And now I'll just go through some of the comments that came through. And let me start somewhere. Yogesh Shah has written, appreciate Jay Kholia's research. His film without taking help of AI is commendable. The form is understood now. Tushar Oza says, I concur wholeheartedly. And Tushar Bhai continues to say, the progressive ideas presented through his plays is noteworthy. This is often overlooked since we see Kavi Kant more as a poet rather than a playwright. He continues again, bravo Jay. And he says, I have talked to a couple of people in California and Michigan to organize screenings. That's Tushar R. Oza. And this gentleman, I'm missing his name. It says nothing A059P. Mukul Pandya, your great-grandfather is an excellent man.
I think
Tushar,
that's Reverend Peter Devasi.
Right, correct. For those not familiar, Kavi Kant insistence that Kalapi no Kekaro got published.
Yeah,
Tushar
in
Bhai's-
1903.
Correct. And hopefully audio recording of some of poems and plays would be wonderful. Thanks, Mukul and Swar-Akshar, bravo. P. Gandhi says, excellent presentation. Congratulations to all. Surendra Bhai says, you all deserve congratulations for organizing this program and for participating in it. We were enlightened immensely about Kavi Kant. I'm sure, like me, we all are looking forward to seeing Jay's film. Lavanya ji says, congratulations, Jay. Look forward to the film. Thanks all. And Tushar Bhai says,
I met her in 2015 in Mumbai in a radio astronomy internship.
Awesome.
And we got in touch after like 10 years because of the
Wow.
film.
There we go. Thank you. Asu Patel says, thank you for a wonderful presentation. Rekha Iyer says, we are very proud of you, Jay, and your team. And Jay, of course, thanks everybody. And we thank again everybody who was here, and of course, Amrit Bhai, Mukul Bhai, and Jay. Awesome work. Thank you, everybody. And we'll see you next month.
Okay.
Thank you.